doing something different today. You know how I have not, sadly, or is it indifferently now, not been able to quite hold myself on Fridays. I get so super excited, and the show just goes bonkers on Fridays. But I've been told I need to change, I need to control, I've been getting feedback from some of you, and someone saying, oh, you need to change some of the things that we do on Fridays. So I'm going to be I'm going to be as calm as I possibly can today. I really am going to be, it's going to be good music. I hope it's going to be good music, like enough for you to feel good and, start to ease off into the weekend, right? We probably will not have, me jumping and screaming and, oh, Lord, help me. But yeah, the point is, on the show today, will be spending a lot of time with you on your feedback. Direct feedback on the show. So by 10 o'clock, I have a little task for you. I'll tell you about that. It has to do with money. So get ready to, pick your brains when time comes. And then Entertainment 360 will come up away at 11 o'clock with a little bit of a banter on the side, as always, per programming. However, this morning, we start out talking about holidays. You know how today is the 17th of January, and about 3 weeks ago, 2.5 plus or a month ago, a lot of people were so in the holiday mood, and people just couldn't wait to get out of work, right? But now they're back to the office. They're back from the holidays, and something interesting tends to happen during the holidays. This is what we're going to talk about this morning, and it particularly has to do with your children. It affects you too, but if you have a child, you may want to perk your ears just a little bit. Yeah. You know what they're saying? Every day is a good day to learn something new. So this morning, we'll be talking about holiday illnesses. Yes. Holiday sickness. Yeah. How does this happen? Why does it happen? Well, you know how you fall sick and why you fall sick. You fall sick because your body has been invaded by germs, and maybe your immunity has been compromised, and boom, you got something. It could be viral, it could be fungal, it could also be bacterial. On a few occasions, I may be forced to admit that it may be spiritual, because some of you, your village people, are working overtime. But here is the crux of today's conversation. You know how you travel. Those of you who have traveled outside your state or even outside your country, particularly if you're living in Nigeria, you're meant to take a yellow fever shot, right? You're meant to do that. Now, I had friends in previous years, and also just this past December, right, who traveled out of the country. And then when they got to wherever they were, they picked up something. Some people had flus, some had cough, catarrh, and that kind of thing. Then they gave them short sore throats, and they got back. And everybody's afraid, oh, what flu is this? Oh, where is it from? Is it from this one? No. But they were treated, and they're okay. But let us come home. You see, I experienced as a child something very interesting. When we would go to the village, right? When I say we, I'm talking about myself, my friends, when we all travel to the village during the holiday period. Now, some people will come back with some weird illnesses. Like you go home, you come back, in go village, in get chicken pox, in get small pox, and then some of us, right? We'll go to the village, our village, we'll play in the mud, we'll play in the river, whatever, we'll come back, and we're fine. Not a single problem. But you see, during that holiday, and it's vice versa, because we had a cousin who left the village, came, spent time with us. The first 2-3 days, no problem. And then by the end of the first week, Baba broke down with some weird type of fever, and we were all surprised because we're like, there are more mosquitoes in your village than there are in Port Harcourt. How come you are not coming down with malaria. You know, eventually they went to the hospital, was diagnosed with malaria, given injections, and boy, did he scream because he was afraid of injections. But there seems to be some form of exchange of illnesses when people leave, particularly here in Nigeria, the urban centers and go to the rural areas. Some of you who have protected your children so well, take them to nice schools. The first time they will just step into Igboeche, or maybe they go to Oka for the very first time, they just break out. And I keep wondering, why do they break out? Because, you know, when you are here, you are giving all your, what do you call them, your flu shots, you're taking your vaccines, you're meant to be a very healthy boy or girl. But you go to the village, small village that you just spend like 2.5 minutes. Bam! Oh, mommy, I have skin rashes. Oh, something's wrong. It's the air. Then, ironically, these village people that you are calling village people, they will come over here. You know, a good number of them will be fine. But like I said, in my cousin's case, how do you get malaria when you are living close to the river? But you come to the city and you don't get malaria. What's going on with that? So during this holiday season, some of you have probably returned with your children and yourselves from the village. You have carried guanguo, you have carried ringworm, roundworm, blue worm, orange worm, and you're wondering what's exact? How are the people in the village staying and they're not having ringworm? But you, Okoko, you left Port Harcourt, you went to the village, you've come back, you're not distributing roundworm to everybody. You think it's a joke? Well, ask teachers who have to deliberately stop some students from coming to class because they have something contagious. And all of this usually happens after the holidays. So my question, how do you prepare yourself, your children, against illnesses for the holidays? Because somehow a good number of people pick something up when they travel.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. At Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. And just take a stroll down to WhatsApp. You find us with the number 08090306416. 92.3 Nigeriainfo. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Am I on air?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm John. I'm calling from Olo in Imo State.
Welcome, John.
Yes. I was listening to your, program until you went to. So, I think the whole thing boils down to
Wait, John, hello, let me stop you. You have the wrong conversation. Yes, the morning crossfire is over. We're on a different conversation right now. All right? Sorry about that, John. Oh, we do like to get the callers, don't we? All right, what's up? 0809030 6416 0809030 6416. How do you prepare your children for the holidays? People go on holidays and they come back with sicknesses. And it's not just a Nigerian thing, all right? There are some very exotic illnesses some people get, contract when they travel. For example, some people who have left, like say the US, and come to some parts of Africa or the Amazons, right? And they go swimming in the local rivers. They pick up some worms, right? You go into the river, you're swimming, you make the mistake of urinating inside the river. Natural. There's some type of bacteria that follow your urine, the heat of your urine, and they ride up through your urethra, and then they cause problems. But you don't know. The same thing with some people when they come to a new place. Let me go and eat this. You don't know what exactly they use in making or preparing this food. You can see them frying it, but man, you don't know where it's coming from. And that's how you eat something and you come back and you are in pains. Then you start shouting, it's village people. It's not village people. Muriel's on the line for more cricket. Muriel, good morning to you.
Hi, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Thank God it's Friday.
TGIFO, small, but we're humble. We're keeping it low key.
Yeah. Jude, this book, I don't know if it's a movie. I think it's a movie. The girls must be crazy.
Oh, I've seen that.
Another one. The girls are not to be blamed. So who do we blame for this?
That's a good way to answer this. That's a good way to answer this. That's a very good way.
Those people that went to the village, they carried all from go inside their body to the village. And it's mainly, it just naturally came out. You know, it just got pronounced in the village and they came out. Nothing is in the village. The village is a serene and cool environment.
Let's agree it's serene, because, you know, I asked the question, how come those people who are in the village, right, don't have the ringworm breakouts? They've been living there for years or before you came. But some people who just come from Port Harcourt, they just spend 1 or 2 weeks, they're coming back, they come to school, and this is where the problem is, because the children will go to school. The teacher will now say, Mr. Miriam, Mrs. Miriam, your son has this, so please don't bring him again to class until you treat him. And you keep wondering how and why. So what should you have done before going to the village?
So, Jude, what we should do. For me, I'll get there, but you know, just like I said, the village is a very serene environment. Now, when we go with all our heavy cars, with all our some of us, these exhaust pipes that have issues, we carry all our smoke and noise back to the village. You know, the village people are even praying, please, let the holidays and let us go back with all this their noise and all this their smoke and all. So, it is we that are going to pollute the villages.
Oh.
Now, for me, Jude, I think what we should do, some people, you know, it's for those of us that are not used to going to the village. Some persons, for years, they've not gone, but they decided to go this year. And all this happened. Please, when you're going, you're not used to the water, carry your water.
Okay.
Most of the things, you need that you're used to in the city. Don't go and use village oil that is better than the city, or then you come and blame our the village things that are even better, village natural things that are better than these artificial things that you brought. So please, if you know you're not used to our natural things, carry your artificial things and be comfortable. Just the artificial, your body is used to artificial things. Carry them to the village. When you're coming back, bring them back with you.
Okay.
But our villages are natural and just perfect.
All right, thank you very much, Mira. Mira says it's you. Yes, those of us traveling. We'll be back after this break.
Nigeriainfo will be
ago, but for a lot of people, this experience, was true for them. They got to the village, or for those who left, and sometimes I don't even think it's even the villages. Sometimes people who left Enugu that came to spend holidays in Port Harcourt and vice versa, or anywhere else within the country, moving from one point to the other to see family and friends, or just to experience a new city, a new community, sometimes come down with things that they had no idea about. And it's even funnier when it's Nigerian. I can understand when somebody travels to, I don't know, somewhere in the UK and is down with some maybe pneumonia or something because it gets really cold and maybe there's a bug somewhere. But you're in Nigeria, you don't expect to pick up anything other than malaria when you travel. But sometimes some people do. And now the question is, it's been happening for a long time and not a lot of people are quite paying attention to it. You go to the village, come back. Hey, that's why I don't like going to. I told you people not to go to the village. My pikin never get ring one before, but I seen go Papa village. See what happen. Is it really the village, or you just didn't do your research? Not quite sure.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Well, Abigail is on the line from Rumo. Say, Abigail, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Thank you. So I want to give my own view on those that travel and come back to one of the things they thinking that it's the village that caused it.
Yes, witches and wizards.
Hello?
Yes, go on, please.
Okay, some persons have this change of environment thing.
Okay.
Normally, if you travel to a place and you have this thing in you, you feel like because of it, you travel. But sometimes it's because when you have change of environment. Like me, when I travel to a place that is not my environment, is not my house, before I use the toilet, it takes like 3 to 4 days.
Well, don't you get pressed?
I get pressed, but I don't use the toilet. I don't use the toilet. I know they see me get.
Okay, so wait, you don't defecate, but you pee, but you won't defecate.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, normally.
For 4 days.
Get to 3 to 4 days.
But
I need to get acquainted to the environment.
Will you wait, those 3 or 4 days, Abigail? Don't you eat?
Yes. I do eat.
How do you eat and not go to toilet?
Yes. It's even when I travel to the village. It gets to 3 to 4 days, but that's not my environment. That's not where I stay.
Abigail,
after that 3 to 4 days, I will not get acquainted to the environment.
Really?
So I think this is what happens to some children. And secondly, some parents need to have this character of building their children to adapt to any environment.
Okay.
Because some parents will just be like, maybe they just eat only rice, beans, and all the rest in the city, and they'll always be giving them those things. They don't make them feel like you can live outside. There is a life outside this environment. Some children are so addicted to this big man thing, big man life, and all the rest. So sometimes when these children go to other places, it affects them. That is why you see some children, even when we are in school, you see some children, the physical clearance and all the rest, their parents come with them. And you feel like, I wasn't happen, only get father or mother. Just because they are so addicted to this, their daddy, mommy thing. So some parents need to at least give their children this privilege to experience life outside the flat life. They should experience this ghetto life too. So it can make them get acquainted to wherever they go to.
Okay, so it's part of the parental training. Abigail from Rumosi, thank you very much. I think that's the point. Some children are overtly protected. It's AC to AC. So AC in the car, AC in the school, AC in the church, AC at home. Everywhere is condition. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying we must all experience the radiation that comes from the sun. But like she said, what level of adaptability have you inculcated into these children? Maybe that's why when they travel, outside, their immediate city, they come back with aka Gongo. WhatsApp 009-030-6416. 009-030-6416. So get back to the phone line shortly, but let me read some messages here. Good morning, Jude. This situation is just the body's reaction to a change of environment. There's nothing wrong with you or the new environment you went to, but there might be foreign bodies that your body system isn't used to in this new environment that might trigger lots of reactions in you. Most times, there's nothing you can do but just treat the symptoms that you have. Frequent visits to this new environment naturally solves this problem as your body system gets used to the new environment. Makes sense. The new environment. Maybe that's why some people should go home more frequently. 92.3. Hello, Potako. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Hi, good morning.
This is Mr. Court calling from Uniport.
Welcome, Court.
Yeah, I am not an expert in this case, but as a layman, I believe it's a change of environment. Because when you travel to somewhere you have not been for a long time, like if you travel from here to Poma right now, everything about that environment is not something you used to see in this type of environment. Both the air, the water, the toilet facilities, a lot of things. So if you take water there, when you used to take maybe some kind of water and you go there and begin to take stream water without any kind of purification, that's the way it will react. That's a result of allergic. And even the toilet system used to go to that. Some will go to pit toilet there, some will go to bush, some to the water side to poo-poo. A lot of things will happen. So I know it's a result of changing of environment.
Change of the environment.
Children who do not play in the sand here, when they go to village, you see them rolling on the ground, the sand, pouring sand all over their body, going some kind of bushing area they don't used to hear. So some rashes and some scratches will happen. So I know it's a change of environment. That's what I think. Thank you.
All right. It's a change of environment. All right. So, God has a point. It's most likely a change of environment. Not most likely. It is a change of environment because, you were living here, you come there. It's like when you travel, those of you who probably went to Atlanta or those of you went to London for the holidays or, and whatnot, right? Obviously, the environment is different. The air is different. The what do you call it? The temperature is also different. It might not be as hot as Nigeria. It might be colder, or it might be hotter than Nigeria. It just depends on where you actually travel to. Yes, it's that environmental, change. However, some people, I have friends who are great tourists. Every year they try to go to a new country or maybe revisit a country that they've spent time before, and more often than not, they are fine. So yes, there's that issue with change of environment. But as a parent, what do you do to protect your child as they go out? I have told you guys about the yellow fever shot you're meant to take if you're traveling outside of the country. Those of you who have traveled, you can please attest to this so that no one accuses you of misinforming them, right? But you're meant to get a shot, before you travel, before you leave Nigeria. I think it's even sub-Saharan Africa, right? But yeah, I know of Nigeria. You're meant to get a yellow fever card before you travel. That's proof that you have been taking the treatment or you have received the treatment, and you're not going to carry anything to another country and then cause problem for them. Precious from Alakaya says, good morning. Tropical diseases are real and are majorly found in these rural areas, and the immunity of those living in the village has adapted to some of these diseases and living lifestyles, water, food, air, work activities in the environment. So when we travel, our body does not immediately adapt to these changes and the diseases. Hence, we come up with some issues. Precious from Malakaya. My 3. Hello, Potako. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Oh dear. Apologies. Sorry about that. All right. This one says, hi, Jude. The first time I visited Port Harcourt for more than 6 months, I battled with urticaria-like rashes. Oh, interesting. But the dermatologist ruled out urticaria after a series of MCS. Now, to the extent that the dermatologist recommended bathing with distilled water. Distilled water. My aunt resorted to buying bottled water for me to bathe. You must be bougie. Like the very definition of bourgeoisie. What's going on? Now, at the end of the semester, I traveled back to Lagos. I didn't bathe with distilled water. I am good and fine. The rashes disappears. When I return to Port Harcourt, it continues. In fact, I bathed with distilled water for almost 18 months before my skin properly adjusted and the allergic reactions vanished. I also experienced the same when I traveled to Kano State for the mandatory 3 weeks NYSC orientation. It's just a kind of allergic reaction to strange environment, though. Arcelia, you guys are bougie. The first time I went to Kiniki secondary school, my school was in the bush, on top of a hill, no less. I did not get I got nothing. And I was in Port Harcourt. Yes, I was in Benin. I was in Port Harcourt. I got nothing. Now that I'm talking about it, I have to ask myself, what exactly? Some people did get, don't get me wrong, some people did get, I think it was hygiene issues, was it scabies or something? And then, but the regular malaria, yes, we all had malaria, but nothing out of the ordinary, rashes, so you're not clean, eczema or something, it's a fungal infection. They give you the cream back then in school, we had the sick bay, and more often than not, those things cleared. I didn't have no rashes. We didn't have to burn. Some of you are very bougie. Hey, this is bougie. What? You have to bathe with distilled water? My goodness. 92.3, good morning.
Yeah, Jude, good morning, Mr. Zion from Port Harcourt.
Good morning, please.
I think to a large extent, for humans, it narrows down to your immune system. Your immune system. Can it adapt to that new environment? But you like it or not, as long as it's a new environment, there are some allergies you have to encounter. That change of the climate. Even in the animal world, it's the same thing. Take a cock from Port Harcourt, take him to Bayelsa, environment. If that, to a large extent, it will stand with one leg for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Haven't you heard that story or that parable, African adage? It will stand with one leg, observing the environment, adaptive measures. If it doesn't, it might be eaten up. Even plants, it happened to plants too. I lost the other one year in Port Harcourt, so much so that the leaves are so beautiful. About 5 meters up, I took it to Bayelsa for transplant. For the first 2 weeks, the leaves withered. There was a change of mode, everything intact, adaptive. But when that one plant sprouted here, it becomes wonderful. Do you know, sir, that even now, before we encroach in Harmattan, most of us have some allergies, eye choking or eye choking. Some we call them Apollo.
Oh yeah,
runny nose,
true.
cold, fever. We are approaching the Harmattan. The moment the Harmattan season is off, want to get into the rainy season, the same thing will happen. I know well, at the Siko, Jizo, best is the environment and the weather. We humans, that is our own system. Now, our system will now feel as if we are in another environment, which is the rainy season. So these things are adaptive measures. That is why the large extent they encourage that we should boost our immune system.
So how do you boost the immunity system of your children, of your family, when they are going to the village?
Well, not just before going to the village, the regular thing, your diet, your supplements, your hygiene.
Okay.
These are the things that boost your immune system. And don't forget, our genotypes too matter. There are some genotypes that these people, they seek a lot. So malaria and typhoid, every year they go to the reach about 5 times. But there are some of us, from January to December, we don't seek anything. Now, lie out of Jude. The highest thing are just small headache. migraine, one or two inconvenience. But some hospital and them, you go see them with cancer, they are treating malaria. Your genotype to matter, which is your body system. So when we start accusing village people, to me, it's even unfair. How come the village people are not after politicians?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. You really have the politicians go to the village and come back and they have issues. But yeah, I think yes, the environment changes and also the climate changes, weather changes, also have a role to play. Now, the last one I think was Zion, right? Unwittingly made mention of something that I think it's fair that I address. Phone lines 017-923-0002, 08179230007. All right, there's a call screener. Drop your name, and we'll get to have you join us on the program. Now, he said some people have every year they will treat malaria and typhoid. Please let me say this, all right? Now, I've been told by a doctor that what a lot of Nigerians have been treating for years, might be a bacterial infection, but it is not typhoid. If you ever have met anybody who has had typhoid fever, my brother, they don't stand. So those of you who are working, I just went to run a test, and it says malaria and typhoid. They are using a very old, I'm talking about close to 40 years plus old, using a very old system of checking the Wilder test. I think the Wilder test, that's what they use. Right, correct me if I'm wrong. Lab scientist, because this conversation was had about 2 years ago off the air. I was talking with a doctor. I forgot. I don't know why it escaped my mind to actually bring this conversation here. But let me say this, please. Those of you who are going to your pharmacist or your local drugstore, I get temperature, I get malaria. I be like, make I just treat malaria and typhoid. You are doing your body a huge disservice. Please, I am no doctor. We will get a doctor on this very shortly. But please, don't start taking antibiotics, because it worked for you 3 years ago or last year, or it worked for that uncle 2 months ago. Please don't do that. Typhoid fever is not something people can sit down in their houses and call a cab and then they walk or they drive, or some of you meet what you ever see could not stand. Please stop abusing antibiotics, please. 92.3, good morning. Oh, sorry about that. Moving on. WhatsApp 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Good morning. When we were younger, we had a cousin who came from the village to spend time with us. She ended up spending close to 2 years because of school. What turned out as a holiday trip turned out to be an extended stay, and we're very happy to have her. But she was always taken ill. Initially, just like you said, people were talking about maybe it's the change of environment, the weather. Maybe Port Harcourt was colder than the village. We weren't sure what exactly was the problem, but it took her nearly 2 years just before she left her house, before she could acclimatize. Every single month, she was down with something. Every month, Jude, it was a very difficult time for my mother. So yeah, maybe really it's just the climate, the change of environment. 92.3, good morning. Hello. Oh dear. Sorry about that. So how do you prepare yourself, your loved ones, when you want to travel for the holiday? You go back, and then you are bringing your village people's problems, apparently, to us in school. Because, teachers have said, some children came back with something and they're not quite sure what it was. So they tell the parents, please, keep it fine in the house. Keep to worry. Let him stay 2 or 3 days. Let him go and see the doctor before he comes back. All of this happened during the holidays. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Morning, Good morning.
Good morning.
You see, this is talking about. I really concur with you. So when you have a typhoid fever, I know that you cannot even come out from inside the house. It's supposed to stand yourself. I think myself as an example. When I sick, that was the 1996. My brother. I was thinking it was just a minor something. I never knew it was a typhoid. And typhoid can take somebody's life.
It does.
I'm telling you, can take somebody's life. Because when I go to the hospital, they now run tests. They now told me that I have a serious typhoid. What I mean by serious typhoid, which I was even in hospital like close to 2 months to 3 months.
Oh, wow.
But even when you have a typhoid, every night you will start having serious fever. I'm like, cold. Let me say, I don't think it's cold like this. Cold. And then there was nothing like that. Also, there was also that close to this internal station. This is official psychiatric group by that, and you can just one hospital they call image hospital then.
Okay.
My brother, every night my mother went and buy this lantern and put light. He will not light the lantern for me. I will use that and cover me, my brother. When I came from another hospital, people were asking me what happened. I said, my brother, I understand. So when you have a typhoid, you will say, I have a typhoid. You cannot even come and first time and answer your talkless of standing. I think I can go with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, man. Good morning.
Yes. It's Omo from UST.
Good morning. Please, can you turn off your radio set or step away from the radio, please?
I'm not even in the car. I am outside the car.
Okay. All right. Good morning, please.
Yes. Something I noticed. Those days we were growing up in the village. We have a river by our side where we used to go above. But you see, all this ajabo that will come from Warri, come from Igodi all the time. They will not like to use the soap we are using.
Okay.
All this local soap they do with all this palm kernel.
Palm kernel back, yes. Yeah.
Yes, and all this kernel soap that we used to rub. They don't even know that is the cure of all these bacteria.
Really?
And if they want to go and eat, they know we don't eat this black soup. I know this soup is too black. Those food, they put odor, they put area, they put enough pepper with fresh fish. And they would like to go and prepare, I need this one. That is why when they come back village, those things they were eating and they are not eating again, they would like to seek that thing. They have nothing that is affecting them in the village. Let their parents learn how to grow them up in the village system. So that even though when they go town and come back, they will make the same thing. Thank you, Omo.
All right, Omo, thank you very much. Those are jebot. Come on, last time I heard that phrase. All right, now, TG from Bori says, Jude, I agree with the environmental adjustment idea because whenever I go to the village, that's in the Riverside area, I get bitten a lot by sandflies. Oh, yes. But to my surprise, my relatives in the village don't feel a thing. I guess they're used to it, but as a preventive measure, I am covered up from neck to toe despite the heat. TG from Bori. Now, it is not always the change of environment. I don't fall sick when I am in London. I can be in the UK and not need to see a doctor for years. But when I return to Nigeria, I can be in the hospital within 3 days of arrival. I was always falling sick in secondary school. If you know your child is sensitive to something, take precautions, including stocking up on the medication you know is usually used to counteract those things before it happens. This is sound advice, by the way. You should really stock up. Just like Muriel said, if you know you have a problem, carry your own water from Port Harcourt and go to the village, please. Don't stress anybody in the village. Now, as a child, my system literally reacted to everything. I thought I grew out of it. But some years ago, I visited Port Harcourt. My chest. You visited my city, went for a speaking gig at a school. I didn't know what I touched or what touched me. Next thing, one side of my face, above one eye, and the length of one arm started to look like angry mosquitoes had attacked me. The owner of the school who knew me from 10 years prior was like, your allergies. And she actually took me to a pharmacy or was it the supermarket, to get an antihistamine. Oh yeah, a lot of people need to get antihistamine, either creams or tablets. Speak to your pharmacists and doctors about that. All right. Before dropping me off at the place where I was staying, AA, Superior Blood Group in the mud. Meanwhile, my husband, who is AS, will sleep in full blast of the AC, walk about with mere light shirt, and then drink ice block that he calls water, all at the same time, and nothing will happen to him. If I try half of that, I will be shivering like an unfortunate fish brought out of water. Yes, I am pained. I feel your pain too. All these bougie people. Ooh. All right, moving on. Let's wrap up as we get more messages. When I was a boy, my mom made sure we took one medicine and treat malaria and typhoid before we travel. Okay, so that's a preventive. There used to be this thing that my dad tried to get us to do. They call it Sunday medicine, something to help you prevent malaria. It's a prophylaxis of sorts. I don't know if they still have that these days. Now, Jude, the major reason and the increasing buying over the counter drug is due to lack of proper medical diagnosis equipment and non-availability of drugs in our public or government hospitals. Yes, make our model. Anyway, that's going to be a conversation for another day. So, if you know your child carried gongwa back, or you exported gongwa to the village, please be careful. Treat yourself, up your immune system. If need be, like somebody suggested, carry your own water to the village. People like us, nobody send us, nothing. We go come back.